M. Indira Gandhi, and the ongoing search for her daughter. M. Indira Gandhi's long struggle has become one of the most painful and emotionally charged legal sagas in Malaysia. Her youngest daughter, Prasana Diksa, was taken from her as a baby, and despite winning every major court decision in the civil courts, Indira has never been reunited with her child. The case continues to raise pressing questions about parental rights, religious conversion, police accountability, and the limits of Malaysia's dual legal system. It has now stretched across more than 16 years, with no resolution in sight. Indira Gandhi married K. Pathmanathan in the early 1990s. After the relationship deteriorated, her husband converted to Islam in 2009 and took the name Muhammad Ridwan Abdullah. Around the same time, he converted their children to Islam without her knowledge or consent. Soon after, he took their youngest daughter, Prasana, who was only about 11 months old at the time. That moment marked the beginning of Indira's fight through the courts and through every level of the justice system. It has also come to symbolize a wider national struggle over fairness, religious authority, and the capacity of Malaysia's institutions to protect families in interfaith disputes. From the start, Indira challenged the unilateral conversion of her children. The Civil High Court ruled in her favor and granted her custody of all 3 children. Later, the federal court issued a landmark judgment declaring that the unilateral conversion of children to Islam without the consent of both parents is unlawful. This ruling became one of the most important legal precedents in Malaysia's family law history. Yet despite her victories on paper, the actual enforcement of the rulings proved far more difficult. Her ex-husband disappeared with Prasana, and the search for them has stalled repeatedly. The problem has never been the law itself, but the enforcement of it. Multiple police reports were made, court orders were issued, and instructions were given for nationwide searches. Even so, there has been no meaningful progress in locating either her ex-husband or her daughter. Over the years, Indira has repeatedly said that she is fighting not only for herself, but also for countless parents who fear that the system is not strong enough to protect them if they face similar situations. In June 2024, Indira suffered a major setback. The High Court dismissed her 2020 civil suit against the Inspector General of Police and several government bodies. In that suit, she argued that the authorities had failed to enforce the 2016 federal court order to arrest her ex-husband and recover Prasana. The court acknowledged her anguish, but ruled that the police had not neglected their duties because investigation files showed ongoing efforts. For many observers, the judgment appeared to widen the gap between legal rulings and practical enforcement, reinforcing the sense that Indira's struggle was being prolonged by institutional inertia. Her legal team filed an appeal and the case moved to the Court of Appeal in 2025. In August that year, the Court of Appeal reserved its decision after hearing arguments over whether the police and government had fulfilled their legal responsibilities. The delay was frustrating for Indira, whose fight has already consumed so much of her life. Yet she pressed on, driven by the hope of eventual justice. A major turning point came in November 2025. A High Court judge instructed the police to expand their search nationwide, criticizing them for repetitive affidavits and what the judge described as recycled efforts. The court emphasized that the search for Prasana should not be limited to one region, and directed the police to coordinate more closely with the Immigration Department to monitor potential exit points. This judicial push marked one of the strongest calls yet for a more aggressive and comprehensive search operation. Around the same time, public support for Indira surged again. On the 22nd of November 2025, she led a powerful march through Kuala Lumpur, known as the March for Justice. Starting from Sogo Mall and ending at Bukit Aman, the National Police Headquarters, she pushed an empty stroller carrying her missing daughter's teddy bear. The image resonated deeply with the public, symbolizing both her grief and her refusal to give up. In front of Bukit Aman, she issued a direct plea to the country's top police officer, saying simply and firmly, "Return my child." The march drew widespread attention, highlighting public frustration with the lack of progress in locating Prasana. In early November 2025, the women, Family and Community Development Minister, publicly stated that the government would work with all relevant agencies to help find Prasanna and support Indira's efforts. While the announcement offered some reassurance, many observers noted that similar promises had been made in past years. For Indira, the only outcome that matters is the safe return of her daughter. Her lawyers are now preparing to take the next steps. Following the Court of Appeal's position on jurisdiction and public law remedies, her legal team is preparing an appeal to the federal court. This move is intended to challenge the limits placed on civil court oversight in cases involving religious conversion, and to argue that public agencies must still be held accountable when their actions or inaction undermine constitutional rights. The federal court has been central to Indira's fight before, and it may again be the forum where the next major chapter unfolds. The stakes go far beyond one family. Indira's case has become a symbol of systemic problems. It touches on the tension between civil and religious jurisdictions, on the accountability of law enforcement agencies, and on the rights of non-Muslim parents caught in interfaith custody disputes. It has exposed gaps in enforcement, uncertainty over jurisdiction, and the emotional toll that unresolved cases can impose on families. For Indira, however, these structural issues are secondary to one fundamental truth. Her daughter was taken from her 16 years ago, and she has never stopped searching. Every legal action, every march, every appeal, and every public statement is rooted in a mother's determination not to lose hope. Even after all these years, she continues to insist that justice must not only be declared in judgments, but must be carried out in practice. The story is still unfolding. The searches continue, the court battles continue, the public pressure continues, and Indira Gandhi continues to wait for the moment when she can finally hold her daughter again.
An invitation, International Day of Persons with Disabilities, Wednesday, 3rd December 2025, 1200 to 14:30 hours. Venue, MAB Canteen, Malaysian Association for the Blind, MAB Complex. Address, Jalan Tebing, off Jalan Tun Sambanthan, 4 Brickfields, 50470 Kuala Lumpur. To commemorate the International Day of Persons with Disabilities this year, I am hosting an informal roundtable luncheon to discuss universal design. Panelists will include my friends with various disabilities, including vision impairment, physical disability, and hearing impairment, as well as my architect and lawyer friends. This informal discussion on universal design will be of interest to architects, town planners, civil engineers, quantity surveyors, advocates for accessibility and inclusivity, persons with disabilities, PWD, as well as caregivers and students of architecture and design. For a totally immersive experience, all sighted persons will be blindfolded throughout the event. Lunch will consist of a whole food, plant-based WFPB menu curated by me. This event is also open to members of the public. Attendance is by donation for able-bodied and sighted persons. Hopefully, your contribution will cover the cost of your lunch, as well as that of a PWD. Seating is limited, and at the moment there are 15 places left. To confirm your attendance, please make your voluntary contribution by scanning the QR code. If you are unable to attend but wish to support this event, feel free to make a small donation, not more than 5% of your monthly income. Any excess funds will go towards ongoing treatments to restore my vision. We will have a fruitful and meaningful discussion that will raise awareness of the need for universal design for PWD. Universal design. For background information on universal design, I have made several videos. Links are in the video description below. Aslan Adnan MA, VIP founder, Green Party of Malaysia.
International Day of Persons with Disabilities, Wednesday, 3rd of December 2025. Every year, 3rd of December is officially recognized by the United Nations as the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. It has been observed globally since its proclamation in 1992 under UN General Assembly Resolution 4730. The day promotes understanding of disability issues, supports the dignity, rights, and well-being of persons with disabilities, and raises awareness of the importance of inclusion in all spheres of life: political, social, economic, and cultural.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to show your support. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to show your support.